It appears that right now is has been looming and is rumored that confirmed by Deportes Julianis of ESPN Deportes. He actually said that the fight with Canelo Alvarez and Crawford is being negotiated for September, and from what I see, it'll be a year since Canelo actually fought. If he fights in September, he's gonna fight on Mexican Independence Day, I think it is September. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. And it'll be 1 year that he hasn't fought since he defended his belt against Edgar Berlanga, which I think it was a joke to fight Edgar Berlanga. I just think that he gave him an opportunity to make money, and it's gonna be a year and 1 month that Crawford will be out of the ring. So I think that by the time he fights Canelo, he's gonna there's gonna be inactivity on both sides, not only Crawford but Canelo as well. But I feel like since Crawford is at a disadvantage as far as his weight, and to acclimate into that weight, I'd say he takes a tune up with somebody in that weight, but a lower echelon fighter, not somebody at that status, and fight like a tuna fight. I say like 3 months before the actual fight. So September. So you say June, July. So say July, August. Or say June, July, August. So he should take a fight in June. Fight somebody before he takes Canelo and moves up in weight to two weight classes, 168 to fight Canelo. I think it's a winnable fight, but based on for Crawford, I'm saying it's a winnable fight, and it's also a winnable fight for Canelo. But I feel like because of the weight difference, I feel like Canelo will have an advantage. But if you really look at Crawford, he's adapted well as he moved up in weight. The last time he fought, yeah, he moved up in weight at 154, and he fought Israel Madrimov, and that fight, it was close, but I really feel like Crawford beat him. It was, I think Crawford won by 2 rounds. Or you got to understand that Israel Madrimov had an extensive amateur background career in boxing, and that makes up for the short amount, a little bit of fights that he has. The the 10 fights that he had when he stepped in the ring with Crawford. Israel. I feel like in that fight, I think Crawford did enough to win the fight, but he wasn't dominant. And but he did win. Towards the last rounds, I feel like Crawford did enough to win. Madrimov didn't throw anything in the first 3 rounds. He didn't really land anything really, and he was very defensive, very witty. He had a good boxing pedigree. That's one thing that Madrimov had, and you can't take those fighters lightly. Like those fighters that have a extensive amateur background, and the way Madrimov had, he made up for the fact that he had only 10 fights by his amateur pedigree, and he's a good defensive, skillful fighter. So I feel like um, Buck Crawford, what he needs to do is take a tune-up fight, because Buck Crawford is yeah, when you don't fight consistently on a consistent basis, it does take away from your timing, and it takes away from your effectiveness. If the more active you are, the more consistent you are, the better you'll be in the ring, and the more relaxed and the better and more efficient you'll be, because you're constantly honing your skills every time you get in the ring. So I feel like, yeah, that's a good fight. Is I don't think it's fair for people like Benavidez, who deserve to fight Canelo, and he's been Canelo's number one ranked to fight for Canelo's belt for 2 years. He's been ranked, and Canelo has avoided him. So I feel like it's not fair, and I feel like Canelo is looking for an easy payday. He's overlooking the fact that Crawford is very skillful, but at the same time, he does have a chance. I just feel like Canelo has a chance as well because of the weight difference. I feel like Canelo's actually being a weight bully, like he always is. But if this guy Crawford is willing to do it, willing to go up two different weight classes and do it, okay, but it's we'll see if he does any weight clauses or I don't know. That's just a lot of politics there, and I feel like they're only making big fights, but when has technically Ryan Garcia won a championship? Even though they say he beat Devin Haney, but he cheated and he used substance illegal substances. So I don't think that counts. And I just feel like they're just making big fights, popular fights. It doesn't really have to have any quality behind it. It just has to have a big name. It doesn't even have to be realistic or fair. Like in the Canelo versus Crawford, it seems like Canelo's just taking that fight because he feels like he has a weight advantage over Crawford, and Crawford is taking the fight because he truly believes that he can beat Canelo. Um, I just feel like he should take since he's a smaller guy, he should take a tune-up fight in July before he actually steps in the ring with Canelo. Canelo is the bigger guy. I feel like there's a possibility that Crawford could win. Styles make fights, and Canelo is flat-footed, but he is the bigger guy. So, it's intriguing to think about. Who would win if both of those fighters go in the ring to face each other. But I would root for Crawford, but he's at a disadvantage. Based on his last fight with Israel Madrimov, it doesn't convince me that he will beat Canelo, but a lot of things can happen. You never know. He'll get into the fight and he'll actually be highly motivated to beat Canelo. And skills pay the bills, and I feel like he would just have to stay away from Canelo's power and time him and use his speed to actually beat Canelo. I think Crawford has a good possibility to win that fight, but I just feel like it's just a big money fight, money grab for both of them. And I feel like he should fight Benavidez. Canelo thinks that Benavidez is going to lose to David Morrell. That's what he said in a recent interview. And I feel like Canelo should stop commenting on who he thinks is going to win between David Morrell and David Benavidez, and actually step up and finally fight somebody that's legitimate at his weight class, somebody with skills, not Belanga, somebody like David Benavidez or even David Morrell. I think Benavidez is more accomplished, and I feel like he deserved the fight. He's been waiting for 2 years to actually get a fight with Canelo, ranked number one in Canelo's weight division, and Canelo still refused to fight him. But he wants to fight him for 200 million. He said if he was to fight Benavidez, he would have to fight him for 200 million. Other news, um, this one of my favorite fighters, Keyshawn Davis. He's a prospect. I think he's soon going to be a contender. He's supposed to fight February 14th against Berenchik. Berenchik, I think he's he's a good fighter, but I don't know too much about him. I know he fought Navarrete, and I feel like Navarrete should have won that fight when they actually fought each other, and that was I think a couple of months ago. Yeah, that was his last fight. That was Berenchik's last fight. Dennis Berenchik's last fight was against uh, Emmanuel Navarrete. Exciting Mexican fighter that I liked. I think he was robbed. I think he was robbed, and I feel like there's some good fights. Keyshawn Davis says that he wants to actually move up in weight, 147, after he defeats or I think he's gonna defeat Berenchik. They're both undefeated, and I feel like he's been very impressive in his last fights, especially his last fight. Keyshawn Davis, I really like what he's bringing to the table. Boxing skills, power. He's very skillful. I really love the way he fights, and he's one of my favorites. And I think that he is definitely gonna show what he's made of even more when he beats Berenchik, who I feel like they gave him the nod against Emmanuel Navarrete, but I feel Emmanuel Navarrete should have got the victory. That's what I think. And he said that after, Keyshawn Davis said after that he defeats Berenchik, on which he's fighting him in February 14th, after he fights him, he's going to move up to 147. I don't know if he's going to get any unification fights. That's what he's clamoring. That's what he wants to do. But I feel like he
is a potential threat to a lot of people, even at 147. I feel like he's the truth and he's gonna make a lot of noise. But he's physically big for the 135 pound division that he's currently at, and I feel like he's very skillful. And if he moves up in weight, I believe his power will still be there, but he won't have so much of an advantage like that he has now against the 135 pounders that he's facing. But I think he's very skillful and he's very exciting for boxing. I think that we need more boxers like him. Keyshawn Davis, he's the truth. And you know, these are the things that I found out. I found out, like through social media. I've been getting my research, doing my research. And Canelo Alvarez seems like he's gonna fight in Las Vegas with Crawford. They're working it out for September. And that's very interesting. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel. Tony also knows boxing. Subscribe to my channel. I'm at my lunch break. I just wanted to give you some boxing content, but I feel like I gave you some content for now so you could talk about it. And tune into my channel, subscribe to my channel, click the like button, subscribe. Tony also knows boxing. Subscribe to that channel.